airplane flying over me right now that just took off from the runway. We're going to try to get this place finished up today. We'll see what happens. So we're going to try something a little different today since there's only 3 of us. We're going to go ahead and work and fill the trucks, all 3 of them. And then all 3 of us are going to run them in and dump them. And then come back and work again, fill them up, and then all 3 go dump them. That way nobody's out in the field left alone. That way we can utilize having a grain cart driver here and not have one guy running back and forth the elevator the whole time. So we think it might speed things up. Try it and see what happens. So anyway, sometime today, my buddy Albert is supposed to come out here and he's going to be taking some fall photographs, and he's going to bring his kids out to watch. So that'll be kind of cool. So I've always wanted somebody to come out and take pictures while we harvest or plant or something like that. So it'll be a good opportunity for it today. So the goal is to get this farm done today, and I think we should be able to do it. Co-op is actually going to run 2 pits today, dumping wet corn. In fact, what I hauled in yesterday was actually 15% dry corn. So I kind of actually sat in the line. I didn't realize that I was dry corn. I sat in the line for 2 hours. I could have got out of line and went around and dumped in pit 3 and got out of there pretty quick. But I didn't know that. And plus, I was buried in the line with the wet corn trucks anyway, so I'd had to figure out how to get out of line, and it's not worth it at that point. So just sat there and enjoyed my time, talked to some other drivers, had some good conversations. So I mean, no big deal. So now that we know that we're dry, we can just go in the dry line and go right around to pit 3 and dump and get out of there and get back to the field. So works out pretty good. Well, we went to the elevator all 3 at once, and that worked out really well. We all 3 got there at the same time and was able to drive through all at the same time and dump, and got in and out really quick. So we've moved to the west side of this farm now. The 2 pivots, they sit in the center of the farm. So we're now on the west side of them, and we moved them to the east side, which we've already got picked off. So now we don't have to mess with them anymore until we do some tillage work or chop some stalks. We'll have to chop and then move them over, or disc and then move them over so they're out of the way. Really, we need to just put a strip of grass right through this farm and just leave them sit on it. Oh, we got us a deer up there. I wonder what that is. I just seen him walk in. So we'll have to see what it is when we get up there. Unless he hides on us. I think it was a buck. I'm pretty sure it was. So definitely did work out going all 3 at once. That was a good idea, I think. Well, I don't know where that deer went. I was hoping maybe we'd chase him out the ends, but I haven't seen him yet. It's kind of cool this time of year. If it's a buck, you can get fairly close to them since they're in their rut. They're kind of dumb, so you can drive right up to them because they're not even thinking about what's going on. They're thinking about looking for a doe. So, well, he's not down here. I figured he'd be down here. I did see a rabbit, but darn, I wanted to see what that deer looked like. He'll be around. He's in there somewhere. Well, we're getting her knocked out pretty good. Dad's strength's over at the semis unloading the cart, and I'm full too, so I gotta wait on him to get over here and dump me. And I was thinking about something while I was picking corn. You know, growing up, we would get magazines in the mail, like the Lego magazines, the Ertl magazines, the farm toy magazines, and you know, when you were young like that, you seen something in that book you really wanted, and it was expensive, and your allowance didn't cover it. So if you didn't get it for Christmas, you know, you didn't really get it. Well, now that I'm older and I know other guys are just like me, we can afford those things that we couldn't afford when we were kids. The suck part is, now those same toys that we wanted when we were kids are kind of considered, I wouldn't call them antiques, but they're kind of considered desirable because they don't make them anymore. So now they're really expensive. I'm like, we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. So, you know, I've always liked Legos, and it's no secret on my YouTube channel. You've seen I've built the 3D models of the Gleaners. I've done other things, you know, that are unrelated to what I usually do on the channel. And the reason I do those things is I have trouble sleeping some nights, and I find that if I do something like, you know, put some Legos together or paint a model or something, it relaxes me and it helps me sleep all night. So that's what I do in my spare time in the evenings at home, you know, and when nothing's going on, I'll grab a Lego set or just random Legos and put them together, or I'll grab, you know, a 3D model, a printed model that I've got a few of that I work on over time, you know, and that's what I do before bed. So I was thinking the other day, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get on eBay and I'm going to start looking for some of the Lego sets that I always wanted as a kid. My allowance wouldn't cover them and I never got them for Christmas. So I'm going to start looking on eBay and see if I can find some of these. Well, I did find some. And they're like 3 times more than they were when I was a kid. So it's like, darn it, growing up sucks. Like, if I could only bought them back then, you know. But you remember the days of ordering stuff out of the Lego catalog. You would fill the card out, send it in, and seemed like you'd wait 6 months to a year because you were little. And it would finally come in the mail and you're so excited, you put it all together, and then 3 or 4 days later you just take it all apart and throw it in the same box or same tote with the rest of the Legos, you know. But it was always the thrill of getting them out, getting the instruction booklet out, putting them together, playing with them for a little bit, and then making something else out of them. But boy, I miss being a kid. Alright, let's dump and get back at it. So what actually sparked the whole Lego thing again was I was on YouTube about a month ago, and I stumbled upon a YouTube channel called Beyond the Brick. And I cannot believe how many people do things with Legos. I mean, they have shows that are sole purpose to show Legos, and it's just amazing the creativity that people have with Legos. I mean, if you haven't seen the YouTube channel Beyond the Brick, go check it out. A lot of cool stuff on there. It's just the colors and everything, the lights, you know, it's all so thrilling to see it. I don't know, I guess I'm still a kid at heart, but you know, the way I look at it is I'm a responsible adult. All my bills are paid. I put deodorant on every morning. So if I wanna act like a kid in the evenings and still play with kids' toys, I should be able to do that if I want to. So, our rows are a little tight on that side. Dad must have fell asleep while he was planting. But, anyways, so yeah, go check out that YouTube channel if you have any desire to watch videos about Legos. Because, you know, when I first started watching them, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, am I really doing this? But then I got so captivated by it and was so interested in it. It was just really cool. And there's a lot of cool things that people build with them. I mean, the one guy, he built a ski slope in like a Swiss Alps like village. It's like 400,000 Legos it took to do it, but he built it in his living room. And it's really cool. So go check that out. Well, we're about done here. We've probably got, I would say maybe 100 rows left or so. Not much left. So I think we're actually going to move back to the shop and pick all that around the shop today. I'll have to ask Dad for sure. I don't know what his exact plans were. So I'll find out in a little bit and let you know. Well, there are some deer out here. There's a doe right there. Or no, that's a little bitty spike buck. He's got one little antler. The one's broke off. So there's actually 3 bucks out here. Because the other 2, Dad and I flushed out, and one of them had half a rack, and it only had 3 points, and it was real small. And then there was a really nice big one, and they went over in those trees along the fence row there. We might see them down there. We'll see what happens. Well, we're all done here, so we're going to go unload and we're going to head to the next one. Well, we're moving back to the shop and we're going to pick corn there. So Dad's on his way back. Mom's taking us to go get the rest of the stuff, or some of it, I guess, whatever me and Dad's strength can move. And then we're going to start picking corn at the shop this evening. Well, we got moved home. I'm going to take the first 6 here along the flower farm. Pick my way up to the house. Then I'm going to go get the semis and bring them down here. We parked them up by the house, just keep them out of the way up by the shop. Some good looking ears on this. Nice and clean, no volunteer corn. Looks to be standing real well after the wind we had, but it's fairly protected around here because we got the woods all around. That airport farm, that's pretty wide open. There's the pivot path. Figure out where I'm going to pick some ear corn this year, because we are going to get a couple cows to fatten out over the winter, so I'm going to have more than I've had before, just for the before I was just picking for the critter corn, so now I'm going to have to save quite a bit to feed the cows. This didn't do so good right here. It's fairly high. Oh, I'm gonna scare my baby goats. They've gotten big since this winter. Remember the videos of seeing them when they were born. Well, they don't seem to mind too much. Now, don't you two combines start fighting while I'm gone. I gotta go get the semi and run it to the road so Dad has something to dump in. Well, first dump from the home place. Got all 3 semis here now. Now we can hit it hard. We gotta run and get the grain cart and my pickup and Dad's strength's pickup, and then everything will be moved. Well, since Uncle Doug came, that meant that I didn't have to go with to go get the 2 pickups and the grain cart, because my mom took my Dad's strength, and Uncle Doug to get them. So while they're gone, I'm going to open this up through the center of the farm here so that we can get the 2-tower pivot swung over here out of the way so that we don't have to mess with it the rest of the night. Once I get it moved, I'll go ahead and I'll move the other one over there. I'll move it up tight against the woods. And then once we're done with harvest and we get the stalks chopped, and go ahead and run it away from the woods so that it's not sitting along the trees all winter long. The problem with that is if we get an ice storm or something and a tree top was to break out, or if we just have heavy wind or high winds, tree top falls out of a tree and falls on the irrigation, that's not a good thing. So by moving them out, we have less chance of damage to them along the trees. We would take more trees out, but they're on the neighbor's property over there, so we can't take any more out. benefited from the water. And I'm just about full. I'm not going to make it all the way to the pivot pad. I thought I would. That's not a bad thing though. Being full with a combine is not a bad thing. Might make it. No, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I better stop right there. I can't see it in my windows anymore. Or I can't see through my little windows anymore. And I don't want to cap corn it. Okay, I'll go dump and come back. Well, it's gonna slowly crawl its way over to the opening. Once it gets where I want it, I'll shut it off. It's gonna take a little bit. Well, we're really getting her knocked out tonight. Some good corn out here. Buddy Albert's out here taking pictures and videos. His kids are just loving it. I told him to drive around so they can watch, because they're little kids, so he's driving around in his pickup and they're watching out their window and they're just loving it. So that's awesome. Down here in the low ground is tall. It's eye level with me sitting in the seat. Decided to get the new stock chopper out and try it. I know it's dark, but working pretty good. Really shredding some stalks up. I'm impressed with it. I'll play with it in daylight and get some video. I think it works pretty good though. Just what we needed. Well, I did all the borders of the fields here at the house, or at shop, so when Mom takes over stock chopping, she won't get too wild and hit something. Won't hit no trees or stumps or anything like that. So anyways, I think we're gonna end this video right here. We got plenty of video content to make a video out of. The stock chopper works really good. It sure gets messy quick. It needs its skirt around the bottom and the front. So I think I'm gonna take some hay baler belt that I've got and bolt it around the front, put that back on. Other than that, it's doing a really good job. I did want to replace the hoses before it goes down the road. I would like to do that because them aren't the best looking. But I think it was a good purchase. I wish we would have got a 20-footer now so we could do 8 rows. Maybe we'll buy a 20-footer next and run it behind the 4640. So anyways, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one.